they did like a little branding strategy guide, and they showed like the same shoe, and the shoe had like a Under Armour logo, a Nike logo, a Jordan logo, a Champion logo, and a Shaq logo. I'm telling you, I don't care if you're being honest. When the Shaq logo was on the shoe was ugly. When the Champion logo was on the shoe was still ugly. When the Jordan logo got on it, it was getting a little better. When the Under Armour, it was like, it looks like it will work well, but I don't know. When that Nike check hit the same shoe in the same color, it was like, give me 3 of those. Like it, like the brand alone carried the whole thing. Like, and what I'm saying is that's the generation we live in, where people are researching colors that will pull you in. They're researching, and so it's like it's hard to believe in a time where everybody is attracted to the appearance of a thing that you could be real and still accept it. That is what we've created.
Right.
And so no wonder why people are like, man, I'm just glad that God still loves me. But then they get up and they're like, but I need to show how much he loves me.
That's good.
Right. Like instead of just sharing how you are internally grateful, because really you feel weak right now. And it's amazing that you're being accepted. Every single day. Instead of sharing that, you're more like, but guess what God just did? And people are like, I wasn't boasting. Like, no, that's what boasting is.
That's
like,
what it is.
Every time you talk about what God just did, you know, and it's like, that's what everybody did for generations, right? Instead of telling them like, I'm surprised that God did it. Because last night I was thinking about quitting. That's why I'm so surprised. I'm actually surprised about God doing it. Because last night I was thinking of quitting. Even when I was thinking of quitting, he was still being good to me. And so I am so amazed by him. But you didn't show or share the part about you last night about to quit.
Right.
You just shared the part of, man, God is so good. Look what he's done. And they're like, why is he so amazed by this? Because internally, he's being amazed because of how he sees himself or she sees themselves. But yet God is still showing his love. And so you get the passion. You just didn't get the whole truth.
Got it.
And so you're like, man, there's something passionate about him. But it's like,
see, I'm gonna take it here. When you say you didn't get the whole truth, what's missing from that demonstration is the gospel. Like this is a full story of the gospel, how it is built on Christ, how it is because of Christ. Like, that's the whole point.
And what an amazing thing, right? That like, I also think about the apostles, right? And just that moment where it was like, no, guys, I'm giving my life. And that is when things started to get weird, right? It was like, as long as he was walking on water, you know, there was feeding thousands, and, you know, there was performing miracles. The crowds were growing. Everything was booming. Business was booming, right? All the miracles and all this types of stuff. Then he started talking about eating his flesh and drinking his blood. And things got a little sketchy.
Crowd got thin.
Kind of thinned the crowd out just slightly when he talked about viewing him as a sacrifice. Because, man, people don't see their superheroes that way.
Dying.
Right?
Yeah.
Definitely not giving your life. Like, what do you mean you're the sacrifice?
Right.
You know, what do you mean you're going to hand yourself over? It's not how this story goes. Like we go in and we dominate, we rule and we reign, right? Like,
I just thought, and that's the point.
Like you it's hard to think of ruling and reigning and you didn't get a picture in your head.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
You had a picture. Unfortunately, God has a reality.
That's the point. You pull out your sword.
Right.
And you cut an ear.
And he's like,
you're mismanaging this, man.
You mismanaged the moment because you had something in your image that he didn't have in your reality.
That's
so you had an image in your head that wasn't a part of his reality.
Yeah.
And when you run into that moment, man,
that's good.
You know, I remember not remember like it was a long time ago, but I remember God just, and I'm saying this because there's people in this room, they've heard it, right? And I share, and some people like, man, Pastor Brian, what are you so excited about? And I would tell people like that I have real joy. Like, man, like, what am I sharing in the midst of all the things that could be listed? You know, and people ask me, what are you most excited about right now in ministry? And I'll say, like, having real joy. Because there was a moment when I was always, man, I was always happy.
Yeah.
You know?
Define joy for us, though. Joy being...
Oh, man. Oh, so joy, you know, because joy is not from what you know, but who you know. My personal journey with joy is, it's not the quantity of thoughts you have about God. It's the quality of thoughts. You know, I was thinking a lot of good things.
That's right.
But the quality of those thoughts wasn't increasing. And so it was very bland and generic. Like, God's a good God. Like, that's kind of where I was. And, you know, but the good wasn't really attached to something of death. And so the joy was hard to build. It wasn't until like the good became like, man, no, it's not because he's just good, but man, he was gracious in that moment in my life. And when the quality of the thoughts concerning God, I allowed them to get deeper and greater, my joy started to increase. So it wasn't that I had more thoughts, and that's what a lot of people told me. That's what I was told, right? That's the run 5 miles a day for 6 months and you lose 5 pounds. People are like, you want to have joy, man? Just turn on some worship music and let it ride. Well, guess what, boss? I was letting it ride. And, you know what I'm saying? When sooner or later your playlist gets thin, and you're like, man, that one didn't hit. You know what I'm saying? Like there's something wrong when you're going through.
You're skipping worship
about
songs.
me, right? Something's wrong when you're turning on. Like, I have a 30-minute drive to work,
right? And
I've listened to 30 seconds of 15 songs because none of them hit.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Something is wrong here, right? Like, oh man,
skip.
That one ain't hitting today.
Skip.
That one ain't hitting today.
Right.
Like, somebody send me something.
That's good.
Hitting,
that's
right.
Good.
You know.
Yeah. That's good.
Right. And you're like, man, I got the quantity down, but the quality is not growing. So the joy isn't coming, but it's time to walk inside. You know? So,
that's good. Time to get out the truck.
It's time to get out the truck.
Hey, you know
but
what?
I haven't had my hit yet. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know?
Jeez. That's good.
That's so real. It's so
right.
And then, right? Like, and then, like, I literally, like, Satan tried to tell me, like, you'll never feel that level of joy again. And I was like, dang. Like, and I thought it was gone, to be honest with you. And I started to even try to move into that thought. I tried to accept that thought. I literally did. Like, I was like, okay, you're right. So it's okay. Like, it's, you know, it'll always be, you know, but if I can get close, that's good. Like, I was literally working through trying to like remap my life based on life events. Yeah. But still have like, feel as though I had something. But then, man, like, joy came back. Yeah. Like, in a greater way. And I was trying to like figure it out. Okay, I'm just saying this.
How much did conditions change in that moment when joy came back?
No, the conditions didn't change, because the reasons why I felt like the reason why I felt like joy was never come back was due to situations that weren't changeable. Right. So it was like, man, that can't change. Right. Like that happened. Like, there's no reversing these life events. Like, there's no reversing these things. And so, like, you know, that's part of why I wanted to try to figure out how to accept it, because there was no amount of work or effort that could change. These things were finished. You had to move on. You know, I'm talking about a combination of things. Obviously, I'm talking about, you know, just the passing of my father. I'm talking about me and Rashida, just, you know, our journey, what we went through. And so it's like these things weren't changeable. And so I was trying to figure out a way of moving forward, knowing that I couldn't change what had happened. Right. And so I said, well, man, only way I can really move forward is to accept that it will always be less than what it could have been. And I was starting to get comfortable with that thought. Got it. Because it was the only way I could start to like ground myself and not just be like depressed. And so it was like, I just need to find a new reality. The problem is, I was trying to create a new reality that God was like, Brian, I know what you've been through, but I still haven't changed my plan. Right. And so like, I was trying to
that's it right there.
Allow life. When I say stuff, like, I'm not just saying it. I was trying to allow life to teach me how to be comfortable with disappointment.
Yeah.
And it was directing me. And that's why I be telling people life will try to make you be comfortable with disappointment. Like, and it was directing me. It was like, yeah. Just make, like, it'll be like, this ain't the same, but it's close enough. And I'd be like, you're right. That's close enough. And so then I would make that adjustment, make this adjustment. Like, you know, but then it started to pile up. Like,
that's good.
It started to pile up. And it was, and I mean, in little ways. So, and I'm going to mention some other, like, shoot, man, like it started to get, if people, y'all in this room, so y'all understand, right? Like, there's some things, little moments, right? So I'll take one of them, right? There's so Deacon Charles, for 8 straight years, mama, he would come and carve the turkey I would cook. So I was like, yo, it's cool. Pop's not here, but Deacon Charles, he still comes. So I'm like, just trying to like manage it. You know, I'm like, and that's good, you know, but then, then Deacon Charles passes away.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, you know, them rocking with my man Deacon Will. All right, we got Deacon Will. You know what I'm saying? Pop said there's a lot you're gonna learn from him, so I'm trying to rock that. Like, these are all unchangeable scenarios, and my mind is trying to like make it be okay and try to make like, well, okay, let's just adjust. Then it got adjust this, adjust that. Obviously, we even know a lot of people don't know this, right? That when man, how much time we got?
But let me say this.
Okay, yeah.
So I appreciate you unpacking that, because you often mention how like America hijacked freedom. Freedom didn't belong to America; it belonged to Jesus. Another thing that the world has hijacked is joy. Like, the world has a definition of joy. They give us images of joy, and without us even knowing it, we embrace those images and those ideas. But what you're laying out is that, and joy is not conditional or related to the conditions of your circumstances, situation.
It's not at all. And that's the type of joy, right? But like I say, ain't no worship. No, the worship songs ain't worshiping no more, right? Like these, I'm trying to worship my way out of like these moments, and it's like they're too many and it's too much, and it's all like, right? And these are like, you know, this is hard. And this is all unchangeable. Right? Like, in nothing you could predict it. But it's all happening. But yet at the same time, you know, there's an expectation, which we all live, which I've never been a person that runs from. I think it's a reward that people have an expectation of you. And I say that because people, it's like they run from it. They run from responsibility. They run from the thought of people holding them accountable. They run from, man, don't put them expectations on me. There are times in my life that I thank God that people had expectations of me.
Absolutely. Right.
Because there was moments where I could care less. Like I could care less. Like if there wasn't an active expectation of me, the actual care I had, right, of like being anything was gone. Like I didn't care. Like you know, like, I hope that makes sense. I'm trying to think of another way to say it, but it's a very real place to where it's like, boss, I was real comfortable with disappointing me. Like I had accepted that. Like, I'll disappoint me. Like, that's fine. The problem became
that's good.
When people around me had an expectation of me, and I was like, man, their expectation isn't false, man. Like, I have something to offer. Because I was telling myself, even when I have to offer it, I don't care about offering it. Like, it didn't. I didn't care to offer it until I realized some people wanted it.
That's good.
And their expectation actually created like a willpower, or let me just use the scripture. It stirred me up. It stirred me up because they had an expectation. And but I see a lot of people trying to like be like, oh, don't expect nothing from me, man. What? No. That's okay when you're okay. But when you're not okay, man, you want to be surrounded by a group of people that expect the best from you.
That's good.
That you are responsible to and you're accountable to. Like it's what will stir you up. And so it's like and you see little moments, man. It's amazing how we are as people. I'll show like another side, right? Y'all seem like I was doing like the turkey war thing, right? And you got to realize it's as funny as that may have been from the outside. Like it was in a moment where it was like, who
were you doing turkey war against? What?
I think I was warring against myself. To be honest with you, truth of the matter.
Good answer.
The truth of the matter is like I was warring against myself.
Good.
And I was allowing. Man, it was so freeing. Right, like man, like to like for one, just to be authentic, to be just Brian, like, and of course it was spurred on because my brother Chris and my mom had thought that like they had lost confidence, I would say, in my ability, and so
you had to show them.
I had to live up to
the expectation.
Let's go. And because like I didn't care.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't care. I didn't care. Like I didn't care. Like, oh, so no more turkeys. Like I was cool with that. And then like they came and they started questioning me, and I was like, no, man, I am who I am, man. I'm the turkey master.
I'm him.
I'm him. And you know what I'm saying? And like, no one else can take this plate. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's go. Right. And it stirred me up, right? And it got me excited. And the fruit of that is like what was happening online, which is just like that, man, I have a great time living. And I had I love living. And it was like, man, I was just having a great time living. And, that moment stirred it up. Yeah. And I know that's how awesome God is, that he'll just,
that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good.
Man. I guess that is Unashamed. I don't know.
That's why we are Unashamed. That's why we're Unashamed.
Sunday, huh?
It was good. What you just gave us was good. That was good. That was good.
But yeah, man. That's the church, right? That's who we are, man. And there it is.
There it is.
What you want to say, Bez Lamar?
Enjoy your Tuesday. Enjoy today. Enjoy your day. All day. Thank you, Pastor Brian.
Yes, sir.
The weekend is here. It's a good one. This is like, the expectation is rising.
Yeah.
Resurrection Day is coming. There's stay tuned, stay plugged in to get all the information that you need about what's happening. We're excited and getting more excited as the date approaches. As you go through this day, go through it knowing that we love you. God does too. Keep attending and keep being most blessed. We'll see you soon.